Guys, welcome to our live trading session. You're looking at the BTC 1 hour chart sitting in a nice tight range. Not much has changed other than a massive flush out last night. I'm sure some stops were hit by everybody. We now have BTC in the middle of this range, and we've got alts sort of reviving themselves again. And you know, we need to make a call today, and hopefully Jay is going to guide us nicely here with BTC as to how we're going to play this, because what I'm seeing right now is BTC pushing into the top of a range. And for me, it's rejection time until proven otherwise. I think we can get hurt on these altcoins if we ape in too early with BTC pushing at resistance. So hopefully Jay is going to give us some insights and tell us what's next. Was that flush out yesterday? Was that it for us? Or are we looking for more?
Hello, everybody. So
good morning.
Interesting you're talking about yesterday's flush out. I can't share my screen.
I'm giving you the screen there.
Cool. Tell me when you can see my screen.
Yep.
Awesome. So this is Bitcoin on the daily, and I've put an arrow to yesterday's candle. Now, what you'll notice with yesterday's candle is the body of the candles closed right at the top. So even though we had a flush out down, the tail's a long tail to the downside with the body right to the top. Now, if we go and look at what candle that is, it's called a pin bar. And when the body of the candle is right at the top there, it is a bullish pin bar. So yesterday's daily candle for me is a bullish pin bar until proven otherwise. We go and have a look at today's candle. We got a bit of a spinning top. This is a spinning top at the moment. Remember, today's candle hasn't closed. A spinning top is when the body of the candle is in the middle, so it's indecision at the moment. We got the wick to the upside and the wick to the downside. But as I say, it hasn't closed. We could have a situation where we have another sort of similar candle like we had yesterday, and the body closes at the top there. But if we go to have a look at smaller time frames here, and what I'm looking at, and let us just go to the 1 hour. So I'm going to put a fib here between the low yesterday and the high this morning. So if I put a fib there, we can see, guess where BTC's retraced to? The 302. BTC loves 302s, retracements, especially obviously when it's going up. And you can see we have found support at the 302. So for me, to answer your question, Dylan, I'm seeing a lot of bullishness, funny enough, in the market, even though that the alts unfortunately are bleeding in the process. So we're still going to be experiencing, I think, some more bearishness with the alts, for the next couple of months. So every time BTC actually comes down, unfortunately, the alts seem to be bleeding quicker than BTC. They do recover, obviously, when BTC goes up. But, yeah, I think we're not going to, I think alts are not going to recover until possibly even, the end of the year. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's from a spot perspective. But with regards to bounces and stuff, I mean, we're nearly at that range top now with BTC. So if we do push into that range tops, these alts are going to get quite excited. They're going to move 1 or 2% very quickly. It's probably going to happen on the session. And I think we need to control our emotions here, because until we break through that resistance, pull back and hold support, I'm a little bit uncomfortable to say, let's start aping into these altcoins. And that is just from experience for the last week of getting chopped around every time we got to the top of this resistance up. So we're going to see this play out now. And we were talking, guys, before you arrived, I think the US markets are up, they're nice and green. We know there's NVIDIA earnings coming. There's people sort of pumping the market in anticipation for great tech earnings. That might fall over into crypto. So we can see the stock market is green, Jay. So, sentiment right now is changing in general. But then we also have the CZ BTC FUD situation. Is he selling BTC to prop up BNB? There's a whole lot of stuff going on here in crypto that we also need to deal with. How do you think the stock market's going to play out here for us? Is it going to help us, or is this too much shadow?
Yeah, we can have a look at the stock market now. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum. Sorry, before I finish off on Bitcoin, if we do manage to break through that range high that Dylan was talking about, around about 26,300, don't forget there's massive resistance to the upside here. We got all around 27,500. We have got the daily 200 moving average, and we've got the weekly 200 moving average all around the 27,500. And I think there's a fib number there too, Dylan, around about the same place.
There's There's a 382. I think it's a 382 there.
Yeah.
It's a big area, guys. And remember, I said it was a big area coming down, and I was wrong. But I suspect going up, it's going to have a role to play.
It's going to
be not going to
massive,
escape it twice.
Very tough resistance up in this area here. Ethereum. So what I've just showed you on Bitcoin, where the 200 moving average on the weekly is above price, on Ethereum, the 200 moving average on the weekly, which is white line, is actually below price. So that is holding as support right now. Plus this area between 1600 and 1650 is also a support area. So Ethereum is in support, pretty much like Bitcoin. If we do move up from here, we have got a bit of a resistance area around about 1700. And then around about here, 1700 or so, up to sort of 1720 is resistance. And then we got the 200 moving average on the daily a bit higher, about 1800. And we got the area between 1800 and 1850 as resistance, which was actually a support over the period of June, July, August. So those are the two resistance areas to the upside. Okay, let's move over to now the drivers of the stock market is the 10-year yield and the DXY. Yesterday I showed you that 10-year yield was in an area of resistance, and that area of resistance comes all the way from, I think, 2008. We did go into that resistance in October last year, and you can see for now it's been rejected in the same area, and the 10-year yield is starting to move down, which it is positive for the stock markets, US stock markets. The next area of support is this area over here at around about 4.1 down to 4%. So if we carry on trending down, I would imagine stock market will carry on to the upside. The DXY did get rejected earlier today, and we started to break out of this area around about 1036. We moved up to about almost 104, got rejected, and you see it's come down now. It is busy testing this 103.50 area. We do want to see continuation to the downside. A weaker dollar will be bullish for the markets. And if we go to the S&P 500, you can see a reaction to the upside in today's candle. We're moving up. So looking positive on stocks at the moment. So areas of sort of resistance to the upside in the S&P, if we put a fib there, I would imagine the 618 would be resistance, and that's around 4.5. And you can see that area here at 4.5 is an area of support and resistance. So for me, the target would be around about 4.5. If we get through there, there is a gap that was left there right in the beginning of August. There's a gap here between 4550 and 4575. There's a possibility that gap gets filled. But we have to take level by level every single day. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention about Bitcoin, Dylan did bring up the CME gap that was sitting here from this past weekend between 27 up to 27,500. So that's also another reason why we could get a rejection after this gap got closed.
Mm.
Okay, the Bitcoin dominance, and I'm on the, let's go to the higher time from here, the daily. We have been in a downtrend since sort of middle of August, and we have found support on the top of the range that we have been in for the last 2 years. So that is from July 2021. We did break out of here in June this year, and right now that previous resistance is acting as support. The yellow line is the daily 200 moving average, and you can see that is moving up into this area too. So where from now, we could come down a bit lower. We could even come down and test 48% right down here. But I'm still expecting this area generally on a higher time frame to hold as massive support because of this long period, last 2 years, which has been acting as resistance. So I still think that this area is going to be very, very strong support, even though we might break down here for a while, and then we'll have to see from there. Okay, total market cap. So total market cap, similar to what we see in Bitcoin. We have come down into, well, we've tested the 1 trillion level, and you can see the buying is pushed the market back up. You see, similar to Bitcoin, we've got yesterday's candle is a spin top, and you can see a bit of indecision spinning top at the moment. So the area we need to break through this 104.5 trillion. If we can get through there, I would imagine the next areas of resistance would be, we've got the two moving averages up here at 1094, but there is a bit of an area here, a bit higher, I would imagine around about sort of 107. That would be the first level of resistance to the upside. We can get through there, then as I say, the daily and the weekly 200 moving averages, plus we got this orange previous daily support line coming from the beginning of the year that would be acting resistance up in this area. Anything you want to add there, Dylan? I see silver, nice 3% move to from this morning.
Yeah, gold as well on that. Yeah, similar moves.
Yeah,
I've got a gold chart here for you guys. I've got the oil chart. I'm excited to get into these altcoins.
How's that weekly white line? Yeah, weekly 200 moving average acting as support. Amazing.
Guys, that's all you need in your life. You need a couple of fibs. You need the 200 week, the 200 day, couple of horizontal levels. Keep things simple. The RSI, the regular RSI. Remember we were saying that gold RSI was completely oversold yesterday. Now it's turned. You must see how nice it's looking. I'm going to show you this chart now.
Okay, cool. I just want to see one thing here. We're talking about RSI. So this is the 8-hour RSI on Bitcoin. You can see that it is trending up, even though price is going sideways currently on Bitcoin. So that could be a possibility of a move up here based on what the RSI is showing. Remember, that's only one indicator, and as Dylan's indicated, we have to get through 26,300 to confirm a break out of this range.
Yeah, it's massive. It's been so important for the last week, and it's the main reason why everyone's getting chopped up here. Unless you were trading Tomo like Bruce or Bluezell, David got the op short, the OP short. What were the other good ones this week? Or obviously Rune was a banger. But I think Rune's a little bit shorty now, guys. I think if the market turns bullish, I think Rune will still move up, but I think there's going to be other tokens. I think Rune's just a little bit exhausted. Let me pull up some of these alts. Again, it's just the alts that are in front of me from the Discord, which has been updated, guys. We've also added Bruce finally to Tomo on the Discord. So Bruce is going to drop an actual Tomo setup. Woohoo! So he's going to get us an actual Tomo setup. We'll be building this alarm system. It's incredible. I've been testing it today. So Bruce will be able to post the Tomo chart with his P&L setup, the whole story, you know, the long, short, risk reward, and he's going to put an alarm there, and you guys are going to get pinged when it hits his zone. So whether you're cooking or you're in the shopping mall or whatever you're doing, you're going to get the Tomo alarm. Okay, so that'll be working in the next. And we're testing it now. So I'd like to say within the next 5 days, this thing's going to be active. And it's going to be on all the Discord charts where I've set an alarm. So Bruce will set an alarm on his trading view. I'll show him how to link it to Tomo. It's going to be epic. So super exciting. And then David's going to come with a couple of charts, hopefully. I've got Simon, the indicator wizard, when he gets back from the beach. He's going to do specific Lux Algo type setups for you in the Discord. We'll get alarms as well. So it's going to be really fun. Okay, so let's look at Rune as the starting point. And this is why I think Rune is getting a little bit tired. So if the market turns bullish and BTC starts firing, we're having a totally different discussion, because then everything's going to move. I mean, everyone's been praying for some green, okay? But right now, on an average market, if all being equal, I'd say Rune is a little bit exhausted now. We can see why. We've lost this main trend. We've lost a major trend, and we're tracking now in the new downtrend. So if we make the assumption that we trade the trend until it breaks, Rune is now in a downtrend, and right now pushing into a 618 and horizontal resistance, and we've got two trend lines converging here, giving it a bit of an issue. So just be careful with Rune if you want to be long. The best play for those that want to be long Rune, give it time, let it break up, let it get support, then we can go, okay? But right now, this is the ultimate short token if BTC rejects. So if BTC pushes up into this 26.3 whatever and rejects, this is a great short, in my opinion. Okay. Same with Injective. This is Injective 12-hour. Trying to stick its head through, but this is actually a resistance area until proven otherwise, again. So, you know, we need BTC to pierce that 26.3, I would say, or start pushing up aggressively now. And then Injective should break this, should break that, and just get it going up there. All right. So I quite like this as a long option. If BTC starts pushing, let it push up. Injective's going to break through. Let it pull back. Let's see what happens after that first little pullback. Let's see if it holds this area. I know Jay zoomed in on this, and Jay actually likes support at 7.5. Okay. So Jay, 7.5 Injective to hold, to be long. You happy with that?
Yeah, absolutely. If it breaks to the downside and retests 750, I would imagine that'll be a short.
Okay, cool. So guys, there you have it. Right now, it's pushing into resistance and having a fight. So be careful there. It's technically in our short zone. Okay, so Rune done. Okay, Fetch, another great one. This will tie in so nicely. If we see BTC pushing into that 26.3, maybe a fake out higher. Okay, let's see what happens when BTC gets to those zones. Could give us an opportunity there. Otherwise, nice support once again. If we get that break, maybe a little rejection at the 50-day MA, pull back, and then we could get a nice long on Fetch. This is the 12-hour. Okay, here's Lido. So I've put a little uptrend here on Lido just to give you guys an idea. We had a lot of these tokens that came down when they flushed us yesterday. A lot of them gave us the double bottom, but some of them are giving us this sort of uptrend that we can start working with. So something to use. We can play this one as a classic trend break, guys. So you don't have to do anything yet here. We might still get a pullback there onto this trend. Otherwise, it might want to break up, reject, and then the next fight is at the 786. So if you like Lido, it is teeing up for a trend break. So it could be a nice one to have on your watch list because it could move quite nicely to the 786. Let's see the size of this. Assuming it breaks up there, it's a 10% move. Could be quite fun. Litecoin. Do you remember the days when we shorted Litecoin at support and we made 10% and we thought we were so good? Hey? Look how this thing dropped. I mean, sometimes you just got to hold on to something. Hey? Look at that. 30% Litecoin straight into 56. So you can see I've set an alarm here, which should hopefully trigger on Discord if we ever get back down there. You're going to get an alarm about Litecoin being in a good zone. Okay, so right now Litecoin is facing some 382 resistance over here. Okay, sorry, my mouse is going a bit funny. 382 over there. Next big area is this horizontal and the 618 in that area of resistance. So, right now we've just got this descending wedge. So things can go either way. So for me, Litecoin's not a trade yet. It's sort of in the middle of nowhere. And this wick is so deep. So down here, it's a long for sure. I'd give it a go here, and I'd probably give it a go to short up there. Here, I'm a little bit undecided with Litecoin. So maybe just give it a little bit of time. Let it play out a little bit. Phantom, there's no real changes here. That nice push on the weekend, epic rejection, and now we're trending down. So the best way to play this, I would say, is we pull up the 1 hour and we look for a trend, and then we can play a break of trend. So let's take a look here. See what they're going to give us to work with. Okay, so I've got 2 touches there. So guys, again, a trend can be very subjective, and you can change a trend a million times. So you've got to do something that works for you. I like to see 2 or 3 minimum touches on a trend. So yeah, I'd work with that for now. Jay might see it differently. I'm keen to hear your thoughts.
No, perfect. I just really don't see it getting past that next resistance level there.
Yeah, it's a big area, but there's a little inverted head and shoulders. Here's your future support. So if things break, okay, future support. To there, I don't know how big this move is. 5%, it's tiny. I think it's going to have a problem up here.
Yeah.
So I think there's actually better movers, like Jay is saying. I think you've got a better bet somewhere else. But yeah, this is resistance here. So if it breaks up, it breaks the trend and this resistance, and then it will be a nice support zone to play with, guys. So it could be a little long coming there.
Can I ask you for some signs? If you can just measure the height of that head to the support.
The height, that guy. So you want to see that. Okay, there we go.
There's the signs.
Exactly. Yeah. Jay is also a scientist, guys. You must know this. I'm not the only one bringing the science. Okay, VET. There's a lot happening with VET. There's a lot of like scenarios still for VET, and I'm undecided as to what's going to happen. 618 obviously is a major resistance zone. So if we push up from here, I think we're going to have a problem at 0.0163. Somewhere around there is going to reject, I would say. If it doesn't, it's going to be epic support, because look at the size of this resistance. And it's a 618. So right now there's a short. If you push it up into that trend, watch where BTC is, see what's happening with BTC, push up into that trend, look for that rejection. We might get to visit the 786 down here. Otherwise, we're going to let it break up and retest old resistance, become support, and we push it up. And this is going to be a big area as well. The 786 and trend here. There's some horizontal. So it's not going to be plain sailing over here if we get up to this zone. So just be careful up there. You can see I've put an alarm here. So if it pushes up, hopefully you'll get this notice on Discord. Okay, Aptos, yeah, Aptos pushing into resistance here. This is Aptos 12-hour. So again, like, I wouldn't get too excited yet. We've got a lot to deal with here with all these L's. We're pushing into these tricky areas now. So 6, yeah, just over 6 is resistance. The next area, I've set an alarm here, is at 6.5. So if we break through there and we start pushing up, don't get overexcited. Let's look for 6.5 as a TP or a short area or somewhere we can exit. And you can see why I like it. Okay, and we've also got the fib. So, you know, that's a reaction zone for me, 6.5. Okay, Solana, what's going on with Sol? It's like, it's dying, okay? There's nothing happening here. It's been so disappointing. It's like hardly even reacting now. This is Sol 12-hour. I'm still expecting, if things turn bullish, I'm still expecting a fight up here. 21, 22, that sort of area.
Yeah,
I'm not very excited.
Where's the 200 moving average there? Is that your blue one?
It's this blue one, yeah.
Yeah.
Sol just hasn't been very exciting lately. It's like they've moved on, or the interest is elsewhere, but you know, it can come back just as quickly. Easiest way to play Sol, let's just track this trend. I mean, this wedge. I love this down here. 16, 17. Imagine,
that's a 76, isn't it?
Imagine what that would look like. I mean, that would just look so nice. If we get that.
I see some other YouTubers are calling it $8 to $10 Solana. Back to retest the lows. Yeah.
Joe, that range is at the 76 that you were just looking at too, down there.
Yeah. What are you saying, Bruce?
No, it's at the 628 right now.
Yeah,
just above it.
Yes.
But the 786, I was looking at that too. So
yeah. I like the 786 area. 8's quite a big ask for Sol, but let's never say never. If BTC capitulates, if there's problems with BNB, Sol at 8 is on the table. There's going to be some surprise numbers there. We'll probably see AVAX at like 4 or something ridiculous. So anything is possible. Okay, render. I broke this down into a little wedgie type thing for you guys. So let's play this trend. We might get a trend break here, same as Phantom. So let's look for this trend break. Okay, we can move it to this area. Let's look at the size of this. 5%. Okay, but after that, things get quite nice. Let's zoom out. Okay, so baby steps. We're going to ride that trend break, maybe break up. We're going to hit that resistance zone. Okay, that's how we're dealing with it. Then we got to see how BTC is going to behave. And if we get that break, like I'm going to show you Link now, Link's broken up out of that range, we're going to look for that. And that's going to be our target on that break. So 1.6 is the ultimate target if things turn bullish. Right now we zoom in, and we're just going to take it one move at a time. So let's see how we go on this trend. So maybe if you're watching render, you can draw this trend on your chart and just keep your eye on it. Okay, you can see it's looking a little bit bullish here. Let's see how it goes. Uni was another classic one. I've put in this trend for you guys, 4 hours. It's double bottom. Now we're just going to track this trend. I don't know what we're going to get out of Uni though. It sometimes surprises us and sometimes it sits around very quietly. So maybe not the most exciting play. But once it gets through there, it should move quite quickly to that area, and then massive rejection zone here. Okay, 5.6, 5.7. That'll be a big problem there. So, you know, first step is that move if it gets through. CAS actually lost old resistance. Let me show you this. It's quite interesting. I really expected more. I thought it would hold. This was the old resistance. If we zoomed out, there was like a major area here. And there was a 618 as well. It's lost it, and it's pinged a 786 and trend. So if you're a fan of CAS, this could be a buy zone. This is the 50-day MA pushing up here. There's something to watch there. And then, yeah, just treat that 786 as support. Otherwise, your next area is, you know, you wouldn't want to lose those lows. So let's say 35. That's it. Okay, and then Link's firing now. Jeez. I was a day early yesterday. Yesterday, I told Jay and Craig this Link is going to blow. And what did it do? It reversed on me. And now it's blown. So we missed it by a day, unfortunately. But like I was showing you with Uni, it's potentially going to move quite quickly now. It could move up quite fast. So there is an area here, but you can see over here there's not much going on here. So let's watch Link. Let's see what happens. I would expect that to occur. In what order of events, I don't know for sure. But the good news is this should be support now. So we've had almost a week of this being resistance. So it's building up a good relationship with this area. So if we get a pullback, I think we get a nice long here. So for now, 6.25 is support to watch. I just had this feeling about Link. I just hate it when I'm 24 hours too early. Okay. Right, and then let's do some. I've got oil and I've got gold. So oil started falling over. I'm assuming it's got to do with this COVID story. Okay, so I caught that oil short yesterday. Here's this prime XBT. So it's green, thankfully, but I see it's reversing now. It's going up. So I'm still short oil. I'm just going to track a trend here. We'll do that. And then the target was probably a good area here. Tied in there. We'll probably see there's a fib here. Yeah. Okay, so there's a 382 a little bit higher. So this must be Jackie's 0.5 that he loves so much. So let's call that a target. The 200 day is nice. And we also have that 200 week, which is quite cool on oil down there as support. Okay, so watch those areas. Gold, we were talking about that RSI and why I didn't feel it was shorty, even though it was at a resistance zone. You can see why now. This RSI is turning up quite hard. So what I'd like to see is gold just push up here, get some kind of support. 200-day 618 would be awesome. And then we ride it up to this zone here. Let's see how high it goes. This RSI is probably going to do that. Okay, then push down. And then maybe just a second one for us that I'd look for. And then that would be some kind of like bearish divergence that I'd look for there. And then we'd see the price sort of climbing like that. And then that would be our sign that we could start looking for gold shorts. So that's something to watch for. I don't know how long it's going to take. Let's see.
The stock S&P has created a higher high on the 1 hour.
Yeah, so there it is.
Yeah.
Looking nice. Looking very nice. Okay, looking good. BTC. So guys, right now it's all about this yeah, for me. I want to see what happens up here at 26.3. Let's see what happens. Things could be really good. I think we could like get quite aggressive with some of these alts if we do that. It could be nice. Even that ride up to 27 there. And just a range, even Jay. Something like that. It will just unlock these alts for a few days.
You know, sometimes, to be honest, the sideways action we've seen over the last week, I tend to think that the whales are buying up there.
Mm.
You know, they can't obviously buy all at the same time. So
yeah, it's been very controlled. I mean, and you've got this FUD story with CZ selling BTC. I mean, we kept getting these like, I mean, Dave loves this thing. It's a swing failure pattern. I mean, we keep getting these down. As we get excited, they come and they sell us. And we get the bounce. And then we saw it on these altcoins. Every time we thought we had a good area, they came for us again. It was very frustrating. So this could be another trap, obviously. So we need to just play it safe. Okay, who's got some charts for us? Is there Tomo? Can we call this the first Tomo chart coming out?
You
going on the
can call it
Discord.
whatever you want. Sure, why not? Why not? All right. So, ooh, this feels like a coming out party. Like Sweet 16 or getting bar mitzvah or something. I don't know.
Look at this. Guys, I'm so excited about Tomo being in the Discord for you. This is really good stuff.
Yep, we'll get there. Anyway, so a couple of things that are interesting. So Tomo, we've been treating Tomo in this range right here for a while, but I noticed something interesting in that originally I was trading this trend that's right there, and it kind of when it went into the range, the trend sort of seemed immaterial, but it came back and started pinging it again. Right there and right there, right? So that range is an area where there's liquidity, right? It's being respected. So the question I have right now with Tomo is, it's coming down, right? And you got that trend line right there. Is it going to respect the trend and bounce bounce right here? Or is the liquidity going to be range bound and it's going to ignore the trend and come down here? And I don't know the answer to that yet, but that's the really interesting question that I'm watching. What I did notice though is that right now, if you draw fib on that, this intersection, let me make it a little bigger so you can see it. The intersection of the trend line, and that entry right there is the 786, right? So I'm actually probably going to do going to wait for it to come down. If I see any rejection there or it breaks through this downtrend line, I'll take an entry there with a pretty tight stop, because if it blows below that, hang on, let me get rid of this. If it blows below that, you get about a 5% drop back to range. So if I get a small stop out of either, that's cool, come down and then pick up the long on that range over there. So we're just going to have to wait. It's entering that box right over here on the 4-hour candle. I'm just going to be watching over the next couple hours to see whether we're going to get honest to gosh rejection over there, or it's just going to blow right on through it. And that's the setup that I'm looking at right now. I'm probably going to know.
And this is on 4 hour. Okay, nice. Yeah, so it's on the 4 hour. This is great, guys. So there's two long setups here for Tomo. The first one fails, you've got your backup plan. So it's first a rising trend play, and then on a fib, and the next one is a horizontal range low bounce move. I love this, Bruce. Thanks.
Yep, that's it. It's pretty simple. Well, and hopefully I'll get this up on Discord and we'll get alarms and all that going. I'm really excited by that, by the way, because I think I lose more trades by being downstairs and grabbing a sandwich and not knowing something happened than anything else. So
no, it's frustrating. It happens to me all the time. I do all these charts and I miss the action sometimes.
Yep. Can't stand that, huh?
Okay, nice one, Bruce. Thanks.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Dave, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I'll just share my screen and show you guys what I'm looking at. That's great. Cool. So I took a short here not too long ago on Blazell. But yeah, I see that we're kind of like the top of this channel here. So it'd be nice to anticipating a USA sell again. So maybe that'll take it down with it somewhere down here. But yeah, I did notice this wick rejection here again. There's a big order block down here, which kind of ties in with this lower trend line here. So a little bit more of a riskier play, but I love trading high volatile coins. Injective, I know that you covered that. Keep an eye on this resistance area, fighting a lot of resistance. I was taking a look at Gala earlier. I know it's been on this crazy downtrend, but when we had that huge dump a couple days ago, from where that low is, I've got a couple alerts set, right? So I'm not in the trade right now, but I do have an alert set here at 0.0189, and then another one down here at the very bottom of this low here that occurred when the SEC news came out back on June 9th. So, from where we are, 11% dip. I mean, I feel like this is a double bottom potentially here. Let's see. And then on the 8-hour, you've got all of these order blocks here. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of shorts that are building up and building up. So Gala likes to do those big green candles randomly one day. And I'd like to be a part of that. So this is potentially where, if we get down here, Bitcoin holds its level, I'm looking to enter, ladder in here, ladder position here, maybe a ladder position here. There could be one more flush maybe where it'll go a little bit lower here. Maybe add some more there and write it to the top. So I've got my eyes on that, got alert set on that. If you guys want to copy the alerts, again, it's at 0.01891 and then 0.018. So I feel like we've bottomed there pretty well. Yeah, I was kind of upset with myself yesterday with Fetch. The alert went off, but I just wasn't too sure. Oops. Yeah, I had my alert set here at 0.19. I think we all talked about that yesterday as well. And you can see how it was a perfect reaction to that. So, but yeah, like you were saying, we might come up to the 618 here at the top of this trend line and come back down. So my eyes are on that.
Yeah, guys, I mean, it's easy to start second guessing yourself as well when the conditions are like this, because if we really take a step back and look what's happening, unless you're trading something like Tomo or Blue Zell where you're ignoring the rest of the market, that's another story. But if you're doing like what we've been doing, our favorite alts and those type of things, it's been chop city, like properly, and you start like almost getting like second guessing things. But we've got to stick to the system. We've got to play the high percentage areas, and then everything will eventually play out correctly. Obviously, sometimes these things don't work every time. But we've got to stick to the system. We've got to back ourselves. We've got to back our areas. But things have been tricky over the last couple of days. It hasn't been easy. I mean, you can see how these alts have just swept it out like this.
And the reason why it's tough as well, even for traders like us, is just this red candle, guys. It's dangerous.
That's the killer.
It's like it's tying into this fib level here, but this all happened in like 2 minutes. Just wipes you out.
And here's the thing, like you're not necessarily wrong. You're just getting flushed out. And if you're trading leverage, most of the time your account or your position can't handle a flush out like that, especially if you like high leverage. And if you get flushed out, it gets expensive, So also volatile situations, guys, there's a time and a place for big position sizes and, high leverage, and it's not now. Now we played cautiously. If we start getting a move, then we can add to these things.
Mm-hmm. So we've been seeing a lot of these little bounces and this big dumps, right? It's like a small bounce, brings you hope, and then just freaking takes it down. So I just set an alert right here at 0.1689. If we can get here again, that's a perfect entry. But maybe even set a limit order here. This might be where it makes sense to set a limit order. You can catch that. And is that the lowest we've ever been on this token? I mean, look
Was
how
that fetch?
bottom is this.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty deep there.
Like we're literally scalping the bottoms here. So some
Mhm.
advanced trading here, but that'd be nice, right? It'd be nice to see this come down here again. Maybe see Bitcoin come and do another SFP down here again to take out all the longs building up here. That would be that potential scenario. So keep an eye on BTC if it wants to come here and take out some of these longs and do another flush out. Your fetch alert should go off with that. So the OP short, still in it. I had an alert set at 1.621, didn't go off. It literally just hit this top of this resistance box here during the Asia session. So it'd be nice to come up here, maybe 161 again, or this area, and add more to the short. And then I had another alert that just went off before the live session here for a potential short for DYDX. So we're here at the 618, and we're at this resistance area. So back, we took this dump here. It's already been a 20% recovery. So that looks like the retest.
You've also got a 50-day MA. So guys, DYDX has been pumping today. So it would make perfect sense for a little bit of a cool down. So David's, you spot on there, man. 618, 50-day MA and horizontal, Dave.
So it might be good to maybe have a starter position, low leverage. If the USA market, I mean, we still have quite a bit of time with the USA market. If they do another, like a fake out, another green candle that goes right up past this. So for example, we see something like this, and then it kind of just hangs out for a little bit and then rejects. Then that could be the trigger, and which is why I have an alert set right here. But you could, if you guys are antsy, I want to get in a trade right now, come on. This might be a decent area to start one, low leverage, maybe 7 or 8x, and then add more to your position as you start to see this swing failure pattern come up to the top here above this 618 resistance area. I think that's it. I mean, I still have my alerts. We talked about this on your show Saturday. I'd like to see DOT come up here and short it here between 4.7 and 4.8, and then we're anticipating something like this, right? But it might do something like this. So just pay attention to Cardano if you guys want to trade that. A little bit slower of a token, but sometimes slower is a lot safer. So yeah, I think that's what I have my eyes on right now.
Steam engine.
Yeah.
Somebody dropped a comment saying AVAX is pumping a little bit. Let me pull this AVAX chart up, and then I know Craig was looking at YGG today. Craig, shall we look at that as well?
Yeah, I got stopped, unfortunately, but I'm wondering whether this, I know you probably discussed it, whether this Blue Zell is going to do something again, I mean.
Dave's in a Blue Zell short currently.
Okay.
And he's got a nice target, so we can pull that target up. So this is AVAX. So look, on the daily, it's a small move, but on the 1 hour, it's probably a decent looking candle.
Our new high highs, or recent highs.
That's nice. That's pretty bullish. So guys, remember the AVAX has been selling off a lot because of the anticipation of this token unlock, and it's 2.5 or 2.8% of the tokens are getting unlocked on the 26th, which is just around the corner. And so people obviously been exiting terrified it's going to dump. And we've said this before, quite often once we get to that date, these things go up again. So it could be one to watch. It, I mean, it has been quite badly treated. Targets from down here, 10.9 and then 11.3 if it does want to carry on moving. Okay, so look out for that. If you want to be long on a trend break, you know the story. You've got to look for the support to hold here. Support must hold. You're going to pull a fib. Probably even get a trend in there. Let's see. Something along those lines. Okay, but we want that horizontal to hold, and we want it to tie in nicely with fib or trend, something along those lines, just to give you that extra support that you're looking for. There's a reaction zone there, 10.4. So it's got to go step by step here. And again, eyes on BTC, pushing into this 26.3. You've got to keep your eyes on this one. Okay, so it looks bullish. You can get excited, and then what happens when we get here? They come for us, and they're going to come hard, potentially. I'm not saying they will, but they've done it before. Just be aware. The best play, we break up, we get support. Then we can start getting bullish on these altcoins when this is support here. And by then, these alts will be breaking through resistance zones, and also preferably doing the same thing, pullbacks into support. Okay, let's look at YGG. Oh, straight in between these two MAs, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that?
certainly had that. You see that? Yeah, I was looking at that pump this morning, that 4-hour candle, that recent 4-hour candle next to you there. What are you on? 4-hour? 8-hour, what are you on?
This is 8-hour.
Yeah.
How's this little squeeze in these MAs? Isn't this amazing?
Yeah, yeah.
You need the
200 day.
That's the 200 day, the blue one.
Yeah, exactly.
The red is
so
the
if you zoom right in on the 15 minutes, you'll see how we've tried to tap that 200. And I think if we break that, and then you look at that retracement just to the 382 is like, it's like 75%. Though. You see how we tried to tap it this morning.
Yeah. Is there still good sentiment around YGG? I mean, it pumps so
well, it was
hard.
just the gaming. It was just the gaming narrative. So it's like I was just kind of banking on that Bitcoin was going to make a bigger move today, and that the DJs would step in, and they did last time on gaming, as you can see on that huge pump on the other side. You know, that was that last little pump we had on Bitcoin. So look what it did to IGG. So if you take a flip from the top to the bottom and a rebalance, a retrace up, as I say, 302.
Yeah, it could be a massive move, guys.
Well, you can see where it can go. You don't even have to do that. Yeah, to that level there.
So obviously, this pump was caused by some announcement or whatever they did. So we can't assume that it's going to go that high again, but we can assume that it can retrace to a certain level.
But even just to that middle line of candles that you've got there, you can see that. I mean, that should be a nice, and then form a cup and handle, you know.
So the most obvious area is this 236 and horizontal that I like here. So it could go to something like that potentially.
If you look at that percent, even if you take it to that lower section, a little bit lower, I mean, that's a nice pump, eh?
Yeah, it's only 65%. Not asking for much.
No, no, we're not.
So yeah, just play carefully, guys. If it does move with size like that, your small position on low leverage will do very well. So you don't have to force it, and just be cautious of where you want to put your stops. You can see these areas here that you need to be aware of. This candle from today, this low over there, and then also this trend. If this trend gets lost, then we start looking lower, obviously. So just be careful. Ideally, this is the 200 day. Ideally, you kind of want to just be above that, pushing on. AVAX is pumping. Okay, we covered that.
I assume you guys looked at Doge again, eh?
Doge, we actually haven't.
Nope.
Let's do that.
Really? After the Elon tweet, I thought it'd be the first one.
I saw it this morning. I get so annoyed though, because it's what happens. It tweets and it pumps and people get wrecked, and yeah, it frustrates me a lot. That thing. You see, like, it's just wreckage. You just, like, people will buy this candle, they get smashed every time. It just annoys me. And all it did was pump into a 618 and reject. So at least we have our marker. We know this is resistance. It was a swing failure, like Dave likes to talk about. Push up, reject, 618. So there's no trade here now on this time frame. There might be a trade on lower time frames, but look at that. Just track this trend up and see what happens if we get that squeeze. So you could easily just do this. So look up there and then track the trend. If we lose the trend, your targets are 59 and this wick down here. These are the first two places I would look if we lose that trend. And then remember, big resistance area. You can see how they sold it here at the 618. So when that breaks up, it could be really nice support for later.
Did you guys see that the actual Doge dog died on the weekend?
Did it?
Yeah, the actual the whatever it is, the Shiba Inu, whatever it is, died this weekend. Shame.
So Johan Swanepoel says OMG. Is he saying OMG about the dog, or does he want me to look at OMG the token?
The dog was I see as, but the Doge dog is the Shiba Inu. That's why their competitors came out as Shiba Inu.
So here's OMG the token. Let's see what's going on here. So I traded this thing in 2021. It used to pump, but it seems to have lost interest.
Yeah, I
So
think
Johan, I'm
Sam's saying
you
that this
want
was
me
a
to
Chinese token. I think he's right. From thinking from the old days, Jay, OMG was a Chinese token, Chinese narrative.
So it looks very similar to all the other altcoins. They're all just different versions of this, really. So you're going to play them all the same. You look for your resistance bands at the top. You'll probably find fibs tie into these for retracement areas. And then you look at your support zones. So there's a zone there, little mini range. And then you've got this guy down here, this little box over there. So those are the three main pullback zones for OMG. And just play it sort of level by level like that.
If you know,
just messing around in a range. Yeah.
Sorry, when you finish with that, but if you do that little strategy that I always show the community when you on Bybit and you look at the markets and look at double-digit gains, I can share my screen quickly and show you what I mean.
Yeah, please.
You've got to stop screen sharing.
Let me unshare.
Which screen?
And also Banter bubbles. We should pull that up more often as well. That's also an indicator.
So guys, you know that I always with the screen. Which screen can you see? The one with Bybit on it?
It's blank at the moment. It just says you are starting to share.
Oh, okay. Clearly the internet by new places is not so strong. Working or not? No. There we go.
Not yet. Give it a sec. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So guys, every morning, first thing I always do is just go to Bybit, as I always say, go to the markets, go to the market overview, come down, look at the derivatives, or you can go look at spot if you're interested in spot, but go to the derivatives, look at USDT perpetual and sort it by the 24-hour change. Look for the positives. And as I always say, if you're finding, like if you get 6 double-digit gains, we haven't had this for a long time, eh? It's normally 1, maybe 2. If you get 6 double-digit gains, very good sign that the alts are doing pretty well for the day. So go and have a look here and then see what's happening. But just had a request. Have you guys looked at LPT today?
No,
maybe you can. Maybe you can. I don't know either, but it's the trending coin. You've got to go and look at where these things are. But we're getting up there, so it's not a long trade now. But those that are in it, maybe you can just look at an analysis there.
Yeah, let's see how it talks to these fibs as well.
David, I see everyone's asking about the kit that you're wearing. What kit is that? In the chat.
Somebody said Orlando Pirates.
That's Orlando Pirates.
Is that a what top is that? I think you're on
He's
mute.
trying to he's trying to figure it out.
He's trying to figure it out. I love it.
He
What
just
do you
thought
want
it
to
looked cool.
do?
He just thought it looked cool.
It says Gemini on it.
So we've got a football team in South Africa called Pirates. So one of the people in the comments said, no, he thought Dave was Orlando Pirates fan.
A beautiful bounce on the 200-day that, eh?
Yeah, guys, still delivering time and time again. The 200-day.
Yeah, Mike 26, we are looking at Banter merch, Sniper merch. We're looking at merch. I was on Sheldon again today. We need merch.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what LPT is. I have no idea what it is.
Maybe Andy, I know he's the guy who requested it. Write him on WhatsApp and tell me what it is. You probably don't either. You're just trading it.
Yeah, something to watch. There is a trend break. The main move has been missed. I mean, you can see that thing's 13% up. 17% was the top of the candle. So keep your eyes on it now. It's a trend break, but it's had a hell of a pump. So just be careful. Let it settle. Maybe you can get another bite at it just now.
Andy says he doesn't know what it is either. He says he's just trading it.
Okay, yes,
and he's in the money. So where's the TP?
Andy, where did you find this thing, and why didn't you tell us about it?
The same way that I just showed you now on Bybit. You messaged me this morning.
Okay, well, there you go. There's a flag.
And it's a bull flag at that.
Give us the percentages, Craig, Jay.
You know, that's 68% chance of break to the upside.
And if you look at the 68% chance, guys.
And if you look at that pole on that flag, because you know that's how you get a rough target, right? From that one big green candle at the bottom, long before the flag. Yeah, from the base. Measure that and then put that at the breakout. Yeah.
So that should take you to 382.
Should take you to the moon. Okay, well, guys, there's a flag. Just play it carefully.
Too late now.
Speak carefully.
Oh, my bad, guys. I didn't know.
You can treat this flag. You could treat these flags the same way, but you just got to be careful. You can get fake outs all over the place. I think if you sit back waiting for an entry on these things, sometimes you don't get them. But that's also why, like, we don't look at them that much, because these things are so volatile and you can get smashed if you miss the move. So just be cautious. Just play it carefully. We saw Blue Zell run away from us over the last
and H bar.
H bar annoyed me. H bar really annoyed me.
And 10,000 ladies. I still got to make money on that. That's also training today, bro.
Can you have a look at ARB?
I believe it's 10,000. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, 10,000 ladies. Whoever dares trade the ladies. Sure. Is this a meme thing, Craig?
No,
For sure.
Yeah, it just looks dangerous. Let's look at like
Arbitrum, and just go into the 4-hour, please. And put your RSI on.
the regular RSI.
Yeah. There's definitely some bullish divergence coming through there.
Where are you seeing that? Where are you seeing the divergence, Jay?
So if you look at, let me give you the time frame, the 16th.
Oh, there goes Blue Zell. I hope you took your profits, David.
Is it going up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still at the break-even area. You guys think it's going higher?
Oh, you're shorting from where this area, 13.8. I was trying to long it just below that, at 13.646.
Kind of short on the top of the trend line there.
So look, ARB does have a double bottom.
Yeah, it's in a bit of a resistance
higher.
area there at the moment, huh?
Yeah. So
Nice
you know,
double bottom,
got this short term, you got this 4-hour resistance thing here. So just watch that.
Yeah.
But we saw a lot of these. We saw a lot of these flush outs. I think it was while we were sleeping, actually. So we can get to take advantage of it. That's why we need that moon pillow. We must make our own, guys. Let's do our own sniper pillow
Yeah,
where
that'd
it's
be
got an
awesome.
alarm on TradingView and it links to the
saw-
Discord.
I saw that one. I saw the Bybit one the other day. It came down.
Yes,
Can you
so
imagine?
cool.
I think that's taking it
Okay.
too far. Sleep and let your pillow wake you up. Oh my
If
goodness.
we have the Discord alarms, we should tie it in with a sniper pillow. Okay,
Yes.
that's coming, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to do that. Jeez, that's the ultimate.
I'm sure that thing comes with divorce papers,
But you know what? You can buy your wife a handbag if you wake up in the middle of the night and you hit your zone. You know, you can
I
make
thought
up.
you were going to say. I thought you were going to say a handbag that vibrates. It's the target.
So last night, I mean, I was actually so irritated. I looked at levels. I set some random buy orders. One of them, for whatever reason, I chose loop. If those alarms hit, I think we're on to something here, guys. I think it has to happen. Okay, let's take a look at some more stuff.
H-bar
And
discount.
guys, would you buy the sniper pillow? Would you
Yes.
buy the sniper alarm pillow? Tell us. We need to know. This is market research right now.
100%.
Dill, everyone's saying there was a quick 5% pump on H bar, like
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
So guys, for those that don't know what we're talking about with this pillow, there's a pillow that's linked by like Bluetooth or something to your phone. And when trading the alarm goes off, the pillow wakes you up, it vibrates or something. That's what we're talking about. Okay, what do we get? We had a pump up. Okay. We had the
I think it's on
200 days.
15-minute candle.
Somebody was asking yesterday, saying, is it a good idea to buy H bar on the 200-day? And I was saying, I'm not sure. I was looking for this trend in 786. And here we are waiting, still waiting for this trend in 786. I liked this area yesterday because we had the MA, the trend, and the 786 there. And here we lost the 200-day. So if he was long, let's just see the situation. If he was long when it was there, it's a 3.5% move lower. Okay. So that would have put pressure on your stops if you did it. So hopefully it was low leverage. Okay, there's a trend for you.
Just watching old David's Blues Old Brews. There is a 56% order block on the 15-minute at what above I say at 15 cents. So be careful.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a crazy position or anything.
I thought this thing was like absolutely ripping here.
Blues up.
Yeah.
No, it's not ripping. No, I'm just saying it's coming good. It's not ripping. I think there's.
Let's see, guys. Eventually, the indicator wizard will be back from holiday, and you'll be able to talk to us about these Lux Algo situations. Okay, so you said there was an order block up here, 15 minutes. Okay.
15 minutes, yeah.
There it is, yeah. Okay, there it is.
It's a 56% order, no?
It's now 47, but it's big. It's big.
Why is mine different to yours? Are you on Bybit charts?
Finance.
Okay, on what price is that? At what price? 15 cents?
Yeah, 0.146.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that. I'm on the Mexi chart. You said it's a 15 cents order block?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shorting order block, 56%. That's a good place to short.
Okay.
But look how juicy this zone is down here at the 786.
Mhm.
I put alarms there. 786, and I put an alarm again on the 618. Okay, but this is juicy down here. It's 11:30 if you get it. Tasman wants to know, are we long or short? Okay, someone's answered her.
Bitcoin's still moving up. We're coming to that 26,200 now, which I think is the first. I know you've got 26.3. 26.2 is
Yeah,
also.
it's anywhere in the zone I like. Yeah, you can see these touches here. It's even right here. It's this area right now. It's resistant to these guys. Yeah, sometimes I just draw like thick band areas because we get these fake outs, we get all sorts of things. You're very rarely going to find me try and predict to the exact number, where things are going to happen. Sometimes fibs allow that to happen. But yeah, I just like a general area. If we get sort of close to that, we're happy. Okay, Kyle wants to see Arweave, and Peppy from somebody wants to see Peppy, and Veracity. Let's do. Okay, so Arweave and Filecoin, I think those two roll together. Jeez, wrecked. Okay, but this is nice. So when you pull up a chart and you see that, that's always a nice look. Sort of some kind of support here, some kind of bounce zone. See what we got further back. Jeez, that's some wreckage there, guys. Wow. I mean, it didn't even open the batting. Geez, we've opened the batting at $76 in 2021. It's now. Jeez. Yeah, I remember Filecoin was at 200 or something stupid. Now it's $3. Okay, so what do we got for Arweave? We've got a weekly level. It's a confirmed weekly level because we've got 3 nice touches. Let's see when this candle closes, obviously, but right now we've got 3 weeklies there. So that's not bad. Maybe a long-term buy could be worth a look if you're DCAing into stuff and you don't want to exactly pick the bottom because obviously it could come lower. Sure. Look, I would watch the support down here. And if you're looking for a shorter time frame trade, you can see there's a trend situation that you can look at. Okay, you can look at that guy. Rejection here, I would expect it to at least come back somewhere here and test this region. And then,
hey, Dylan, it looks like Cass is reacting off the 618 right now.
Okay, let's take a look.
I took a long right now at 391.
David is long Cass, everybody.
Oh, no, 391.
Fire up the exchange.
Smack in the order block, eh?
Has it gone?
I mean, it's just a little bit. It's just a percentage move,
Okay.
but it's probably.
Okay.
I think that's the 618 reaction.
You got to look. You got to read the candle, though, David. That's a very, very bullish candle. But I'm looking at the 5 minutes. 15%. I mean, that's extremely bullish.
Yeah, I'm with Craig, man.
Guys, you get such a nice mix here. I mean, like I get nervous looking at 5-minute candles. I like the 4 hour on the daily. Craig's like saying bullish, 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 and we zoom in and 5 minutes. Okay, we got a small rejection.
Look what one candle engulfs. One candle engulfs.
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 hours worth of work on 5-minute candles.
If you zoom in here, there's a little rejection there. Okay, so
I literally took the trade like 5 minutes ago, Rodolfo. So
I really want this for the long term. I really think this is a coin for the long term.
Yeah, for sure.
To think I had it at 100 million market cap and then sold it, and now it's 1.1 billion market cap.
It's crazy.
Bottle. But I mean, I did that with like ADA, and I hold the shit out of ADA, and it's lower than what it is now when I got it. I really believed in the tech. I was definitely, I loved the message that Charles was giving us, and it hasn't worked, unfortunately. But yeah, this cash thing.
You mean Cardano?
Yeah. I mean, I did a full round trip. I've held that thing for like 3 years. It's worth less than what I paid for. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So look, but cash is what, 7,000% up. So slightly different game.
Definitely a different game.
Johan's got the same problem on ADA. What is the main difference between File and Arweave? Marcus wants to know. From what I know, they are both
competitors.
They're competitors. Mercedes and BMW, I suppose.
You know what put me off of Ada, hey, Dylan, was when we had that invite. I don't think you came, because he came to South Africa, he came to Cape Town, and we got invited to this dinner with him. And he just looked like, hey, I was so pissed off that night. I was dismissed, but I was just like, no, no chance.
Okay, Peppy. Undecided.
Yeah, kind of in the middle.
We zoom in. Okay, so I mean, you can see what's going on here, guys. The general play. Right now, we're watching trend breaks and we're watching slightly higher moves, 3-4% into resistance bands. That's the play right now. So you know, you might get a low time frame trend break, push up into resistance. We've got to time that with BTC. That's where we are. It's like, again, and Craig does this really well. And it's small moves, take your profit. Bruce nails this. Sometimes I hang on too long. I always wait for these bigger moves, and I'm trying to be so disciplined at the moment. But yeah, it's small moves. If we get the trend break, you take that move into resistance. Let's zoom in on Pepe. I'll show you why I'm saying this again. These candles are horrible on Pepe. I don't know what it is. Why do you think it prints candles like this, guys? On TradingView. So, you know, here's your trend break on something like Pepe, which you can translate into a lot of these other alts. And then you might get a small move into a resistance zone. And then we need to deal with this here and see what happens. Rejection, support, then maybe up again. So just small moves at a time if we get those trend breaks. Let's check in on Uni, because that one was looking quite bullish just now. And we must check in on Render. Okay, so Uni again, still just parking here. Again, the market's undecided. We're not getting that push that we wanted. I was expecting a little bit more than if things were going to be bullish like that. Now they're starting to look a little bit undecided. Let's look at Render. Render, we got the break.
Looking good.
Okay, so Render, we got the break, guys. So that's nice. So when we were talking, it was down there. Link's climbing, nice.
Link broke out cleanly now. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. How cool is that? Craig, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I was saying I was 24 hours too early. We knew something was going on with Link when it was in that tight range. The other alts were dipping down, and Link was just waiting for a move. So yeah, it's a pity, but it could be quite a smooth move up to the 6.5. Guys, this is not a long area now. If you're not in Link from earlier or lower down, it's like a kamikaze bomber. You know what I mean? Like you're taking chances here. So just be careful. SUI, let's do SUI.
Yeah, sweet. It's really moved a lot though.
And then we must check in on that SEI. One of the research guys I told you is shorting to zero. So we must just check in on his trade and see how he's doing there. Okay, so
straight into resistance right now.
Yeah, so that's not ideal. Let's zoom in lower time frame. We're going to see a little rising wedge here that we can work with, perhaps.
No, it's not even
a
rising wedge.
Yeah.
Dangerous trade.
Oh wait, 15 minutes is a bit much for me. Let's do 1 hour. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is. But
What is
again,
it? It's it's a bear flag.
I still to this day don't know what Tomo is, for example.
That's a very big bear flag.
Okay, so guys, yeah, how do you play these things? It's the same principle every single time. And Bruce will show you with those Tomo trades, because you're going to see these 15-minute and 1 hour setups from Bruce. He does these ranges so nicely. And this is it. Long, short, long, short.
Yep.
You're going to get used to doing this stuff. And believe it or not, it really does work, guys. It's even something as simple as just playing a channel. So let's look at potential pullback areas here. Look at that 618 down here. Now, if this wasn't a match made in heaven, hey, look at that. So potential shorts, okay? So you'll see, as you get to see Bruce's charts there on Tomo, you're going to see he highlights these areas, and he'd look at that for a short. And he'd probably look at that for a long. So yeah, play the game.
So just as a rule of thumb, Dilwali there, because I mean that's a bear flag, 68% chance of break to the downside. However, if it breaks the wrong way, in other words, it breaks up, you always land up with a very violent move because so many people are shorting at that top. It creates that squeeze. I mean, you just get this pop, but you can see that 200-day, whatever's ahead of you there.
Yeah, that's the 50, but that'll act as resistance too. But again, yeah, so if you short and you identify this as a bear flag and you catch your short, it's a nice move down there. And then you've got, if you break this flag and you start coming down, you start looking at these lows over here. So it could be a nice one. This is the 1 hour chart, guys. And then if we zoom out, we've actually just got that trend break. Look how that trend ties in with the 618. Now tell me that's not science. So that's why that looks like a dream entry to me. There.
I'm back and retest it. Nice.
So it's a retest of both trends on a 618 pullback. So it could be a nice area.
So I'm just looking at Marcus Wagner's comment on the side there about why do we look at meme coins. Most of us agree that they harm the industry, et cetera, et cetera. Firstly, they're trades, Marcus. Secondly, they're a lot of fun. So yeah, I understand that they're not part of my long-term portfolio. But flip, can you make money? I mean, I know two guys. One guy that put $20,000 into Hex and turned it into $400 million. Okay. And I know one guy that put 1,700 Rand into and turned it into well over $1 million. So I'm always up for a scam coin, but I know exactly what it is. I know what's going to happen, and I try and get in and out. But yeah, it's not. But that's not part of my long-term portfolio. But the charts are good for a setup, and you've got a raging community behind it. You can really take, and just remember, take your profits before someone else takes yours. But yeah, just hopefully that answers it. Yeah, but we don't take them seriously from a long-term perspective. It's a trading token. Apparently,
so Tasman was saying in the chat there that BNB feels like a slot machine. Yes, the whole thing feels like a slot machine right now because of the rumor that CZ is using BTC to buy BNB. So when we get a pump, he sells the BTC. And that's what it feels like is happening. Like I actually felt like I sometimes feel like I have control of things and I know exactly how things are playing out. But when this happening and this chop and all this stuff, it actually gets very confusing. And it just feels like there's external factors at play here more than normal. So yes, the whole thing feels like a slot machine right now. But Sheldon was talking about it on the show, and we were talking about this yesterday. The most crowded trade in crypto history, other than maybe that FTX and Luna eventually, is this BNB short. And if everybody thinks they're so clever that they're shorting BNB, like, what do you think's actually going to happen? The minute they start pushing this price, you are shorting BNB on 20x. You're shorting it 15x. This thing's going to move 2%, and you're going to think, shit, I need to close my position. Plus all these other people. And what happens? It just starts climbing. So if you want to be short BNB, short green candles, short strength. Don't short when you see red. It just feels like you're going to get like squeezed out here. So be very careful, guys. That could potentially even be setting up as a bullish situation. Not that I've ever been fundamentally a BNB bull. I always joke that it's going to zero, and it probably is eventually. But I think we can have some fun going up first. So Sheldon spoke about this earlier at length. You could check it on his show. I think he had pulled up a nice chart on it today. But
Yeah, he's still in the long.
yeah, I don't think it's a bad bet. Seriously. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
because
the
it's in
amount
those
of
crowd. One of
people
the you've got to
queuing
look
up
for
to
those
short
crowded.
this?
You've got to look for those crowded trades. You know.
I mean, if everyone's doing it, why on earth would it work? That's the question. So there's your first move into resistance. So if you're looking for BNB shorts, there's your first area you can look at. Again, exercise caution because everyone's trying to short it. Okay, then you got to wait till it gets up here, or wait till it gets up here if you want to be short. I think eventually we'll get it right. But those are your areas, I would say, potentially to look at.
So what you're saying is we should build along.
Build along. I really think so. I think if we get a BNB pullback to like 183 or whatever that weekly level was, I think it's a gift, really. I think. Can you imagine how the guys are going to be shorting into that? Like, and then they're going to reverse it, even if it's a quick move. Yeah, I think if you get a pullback here, it's an opportunity. I don't think they're going to just let it die like that without a big fight at the end.
CZ has his backup squad.
There's got to be a way, there's got to be a way. I did have a nice finance chart at some point. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so these are the areas. And when we're down here, we're in it for the tech. We long-term investors. If you bought buying BNB up here at 220 and you're still holding it when it gets down there, it's going to be interesting. So this is a major level. You can see we spoke about this today. 185. If you get that wick to 185, I think it's a free ride up, really. I really do. And if I'm wrong, your stop's going to be 179, somewhere around there. And then a push up. But even the size of this move from here, guys, from the bottom of this wick, it's 20% to 240, the top of that area. Never mind this major trend break if things do turn bullish on it. Then you got this next area at the 200 day, 280, 290, and it can still be a mega short after that. But they got to squeeze the guys out at some point.
So while you're there, I just want to pick up on Marcus. It's an interesting point, Marcus, that you make, because he came back and said how many lost money for that one guy to make the 400 million. I think one of the hard things with trading, Marcus, and please, I want the other guys to chip in, is trading is a zero-sum game. So for every buyer, there's a seller. For every seller, there's a buyer. Someone's winning, someone's losing, and it's the name of the game. And it's literally like the TV show Survivor: outwit, outlast, outsmart, whatever they're saying is. So it is hard to think that, but think about good projects. I mean, how we've been played with, for example, Luna collapse, CFX collapse, with Celsius last year, major projects where we've been the fodder for the whales. So you have to take a pretty brutal approach to trading and understand that that's the game. If you're worried about the other guy at the other end of your trade, I don't know how you're going to make money, because you're always worried. Because don't forget, when you're buying, somebody's selling. When you're selling, some guy's buying. You've got to worry about him. You've got to worry about you, and you've got to make money in this game. And yeah, it's brutal. I mean, that's what trading is. I don't know if someone wants to add here, but I mean, if you look at Tom Hogarth and you watch that London 29 video, I'll post it here again for those that haven't watched it. And I mean, that guy literally goes through this process. That's a separate video, but I watched the video of his morning routine where he gets so in the zone. He does ice water swimming, he does yoga, he does whatever, you know, and then when he steps into the trading for 2 times 2 hour slots a day, he literally changes his personality completely. He becomes not the person that he is. You know, he becomes an aggressive trader. And after 2 hours, he steps out. And that guy now, I watched him last year take £100,000, he does it live, to £2 million by the end of the year. And then in about August, someone said to me, oh, he only makes money because he has a lot of money. So he took, I think he took 50,000 or 10,000, and he said he would double it by the November. But anyway, he literally 10x.
Wasn't it £5,000?
It was ridiculous what he did when he started that new account. And it's you know, and it's a hard reality because you know we too can't. I am anyway. So, but you know, you've got to literally become a different personality. You know, I'm going to actually post the 2019 video. I'll go find it and post that, and then you can fish around with these other videos. But there is one that he did. It's in he's a Swedish guy, so it's a foreign language, but it translates it into English, and you can watch that guy's morning routine. I mean, it's freaking insane.
Yeah, share. There's some people looking for his name here, so please drop it in.
I'll get the video now for you.
Okay, cool. So guys, yeah, that's the play from me. And well, I think all of us, BTC into resistance. So as you can see, it's happening now in front of us. BTC is in resistance. We've got lots of alts pushing into resistance. It's almost like crunch time now, and we need to see how this plays out. If we get this little pop on BTC, I think we can get quite aggressive with these altcoins, I would say, especially on confirmation of support. But until then, exercise caution. And even if you're watching BTC, David will back me up on this one too. It's very easy to start getting excited. You see this candle coming up here, and you start buying long, and then you wake up tomorrow and we're back down here.
Yep.
Okay, so wait for that confirmation. There's support there. Okay, if it breaks through there, and then there's support in this general region here to watch.
Yeah.
So just play it safe. Alts into resistance, BTC into resistance. What does that mean generally? We're trading a range. We're shorting the top of the range. Okay, we want to be long. We're breaking out. We're pulling back support, and then we can go again. So don't put all your eggs in one go now. If you see BTC pushing, be patient.
Yeah, we are at the top of that Keltner channel too.
Yeah.
Jay, I can't
15
find that
minutes.
2019 video. I've got the day and the life. Just make sure
We can post it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and then yeah, guys. Well, it's day for the Americans. You know, last night we slept and we got washed out completely. So yeah, that's also on the table. These are the Keltner channels that Dave likes to watch, guys. It's KELT. You can find it on Trading View Indicators. So Dave's little secret sauce. Here's a secret for you guys, okay? 15 minutes, he uses the Keltner channel on BTC only to see when we may or may not get a reversal. So when it starts pushing at the top, he starts looking for his exits or his TPs or, you know, whatever he's watching, he's saying, pushing into resistance, Keltner channel is at the top, potential rejection here, Dave, right?
Yeah, potential rejection. If you start to see the candles, like if you go back where it says 23, you can see that where the red candle pierced through the blue.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 times, right? So wait for the 2 or 3 candles later. You know, usually 1 hour, 30 minutes to an hour, those red candles start to appear, and then that's kind of like, okay, it looks like we're going to visit the bottom of the Keltner channel, and that's typically what's been happening with USA session.
Yeah,
they're seeing these buy-ups, and then they're basically selling it at the end of the day, and then Asia basically picks it up and buys the dip.
Yeah. So this, looking at this in front of us, you can see just based on the information we have in front of us, when we get that reversal, it might be a wick up. Look for a reversal, maybe back down to the channel, okay, and then maybe up again. So just be aware of these scenarios. I wonder how similar this is to the Bollinger Bands. Let me take off the Keltner channels. Similar, but I definitely prefer the Keltner. That's a good one, Dave. Thanks. So guys, use that as a guide, especially when you're panicking, you know, in these conditions where BTC is falling or whatever, and you're feeling stressed out. Use that also just to calm your nerves. You can see where we are in the picture. Could be a helpful tool for you.
Yeah, it works for both ways, longing and shorting, because you can see that dip was just way overextended on that Kellner channel and then just reversed.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. So guys,
Dill, before you duck,
yeah.
just why don't you just look at Woo? I'll just say a couple of comments, but please saying check Woo. There's been a whole bunch of comments on it, and then we can call it a day. Let's move. Andy, you'll be happy with this seeing a recovery in your trade.
That's cool. So that's going to be your support you want to see hold now. This is your resistance zone to watch. %10 move, I'd say. Let's see what fibs we have here. Nice trend there. Okay, so look for possible action there as well at the 786. Just look for a reaction there, potentially, but this range move is up to here. And then support now, you want this 618 now to hold as your support. So 0.175 maybe is the depth of the support I would say that you want to hold, and then you'd like to see it push up, possibly up to that zone. Something else that could obviously play out. You might have a second bite down here. And that's the bullish one. Okay, there you go. All scenarios painted out. Cool, guys. Thank you. That's fun as always. Nice hanging with everybody. Can't wait to start on Discord.
Coming up.
Cool.
Coming up.
Yes,
Everybody.
Thanks, Dylan.
Guys,
Thanks, Greg.
good luck
Thanks,
out
Dylan.
there.
Thanks,
Good
Greg.
luck out there. huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Great night, guys.
Ciao.
Cheers. Bye.
Peace.